Hello YouTube, my name is Nero and to some Call of Duty World at War, and welcome to Banzai. This is actually the map that was the inspiration for the brand new Call of Duty Black Ops 3 DLC 2 map, Verge. And there's going to be some fundamental differences between these two maps. Now, of course, it's going to be a reimagination, so they can, of course, do whatever they want, but it doesn't appear to actually be a very faithful remake just based upon the short little cinematic that they showed us during the reveal live stream of the Eclipse DLC here for Black Ops 3 today. So what I want to show you is actually this comparison. So I'm standing right here for a very specific reason. This is because this is the location that they showed us during their reveal cinematic that they showed us during their reveal live stream. And if you guys see here, it's definitely going to be a lot different. This map is going to have a lot of layout changes as compared to the original Banzai to kind of incorporate the new movement system that we have available to us here in Black Ops 3. So here we are. This is the exact same location. As I'm sure you guys noticed, there is going to be a lot of second story stuff right here incorporated into this building, which is not something that we obviously had in World at War, but that's for good reason. World at War, we did not have any kind of new movement system. We didn't have the ability to double jump or wall run or anything like that. We had boots on the ground, quite literally. It's a World War II game, for crying out loud. So the map itself is going to be pretty different, not only in terms of its layout, but in terms of how it's going to be presented, right? Because the entire idea of Verge is it's going to be this post-apocalyptic future where two war-torn nations are kind of bordering each other, like by this riverbed. They're fighting for control of the water, and the water that's going to be on Banzai is, I'm assuming, going to be much deeper, but at the time of me recording this, they haven't given us a reveal trailer yet for the Eclipse DLC. We don't have that trailer yet. I'm looking forward to it. And when they actually do bring out that trailer, I want to do some cinematic, like, side-by-side comparisons to kind of show you guys, like, what this map is like versus what Verge is going to be like. I think that would be pretty fun. But what I want to do here with this video is actually show you guys the map Banzai in its entirety, so you guys get kind of an idea of what Verge is actually going to be like, as well as you guys can see this, and then maybe note some comparisons in the future when we do get to see exactly what Verge is going to completely be like. So let's go ahead and show you guys the layout here. The map itself is actually kind of big. There's a lot of cool and interesting mechanics on this map. For example, there's going to be the bridge, which is definitely a big focal point on this map. There's going to be a cave. There's going to be some waterfalls. There's going to be lots of verticality on this map, and I think that's one of the reasons why they decided to bring it into Call of Duty Black Ops 3, because there's going to be a lot of potential, I suppose, for some really cool shenanigans with the new movement system. So first things first, that's where they took the cinematic intro from, and then we come over here, and right down there is going to be a cave, but we're going to be looking at that a little bit later. Right here, we're actually going to be looking at the bridge itself, because the bridge is obviously going to be a big focal point of the map. There were, again, take all this with a grain of salt, because we don't know exactly what they're going to be doing with Verge, but in World at War, there was these little things here on the side that you could use for cover, because there's definitely some long lines of sight here on this bridge, and they tried to put as much clutter on the bridge as possible to make it so people actually had the ability to, be able to advance, and snipers couldn't just, like, dominate them completely. But the bridge itself, there were ways to just jump off of the bridge and land down on the ground, but typically that would result in you dying, so it's definitely not recommended. But in Black Ops 3, that's probably not going to be the case. I would imagine there's probably going to be some walls for us to wall run, and of course we can jump and do whatever we want and land on the ground, and we'll be perfectly fine in Black Ops 3, as well as I assume this water here is going to be much deeper, because they actually want to incorporate swimming in the underwater systems that we have in Black Ops 3 a little bit, so that's going to be pretty interesting. But this is the bridge. Again, both sides kind of have these little areas that you can use for cover. This area is a little bit better in my own personal opinion, because you can actually, shoot right here and you get people through those walls and whatnot, because it's just tin. It's not a lot of cover. It's not going to help you out too much. But here on the other side of the map, and keep in mind, Verge is going to be basically the border between two war-torn nations, and so, like, one side here is going to be one nation, the other side is going to be another nation. It's going to be post-apocalyptic. It's going to be, like, kind of Borderlands-y in some respects, but each side is going to have some fundamental differences. Like, for example, this side actually has this entire bunker that we can use, which a lot of people would always camp up here and try and shoot down there across, as well as the cave that is available to us down here. There's a nice little head glitch spot in this cave, I suppose, where people would always, poke their head out and try and take out people that were on the bridge. So that's something to bear in mind. And that cave, of course, is going to take you to the other end of the map as well, but we'll be showing you guys that all in good time. So as we come back up here into this building, just kind of give you guys an idea of what this building is like. We have a ladder here, which, lol ladders, right? Lol ladders in Black Ops 3. That's not going to be very useful for very many people. But you come up in here. It's a pretty big building, all things considered. There's a lot of ways into it. It's not a very secure building by any stretch of the imagination, but it does stretch the vast majority of this side of the map, as it will take you over there to the little shrine area, which looks a lot like... what was the name of that map? There was a Shangri-La. Was that the name of the zombies map in Black Ops 1, I want to say? Yeah. So just keep that in mind. It's going to be definitely one of those maps that has a lot of different areas for you to go to. Here on the back half of the map, there's just a couple of buildings. These are just a couple of buildings around the back end of the map that really didn't serve much of a purpose besides for flanking routes and things like that. The other side of the map has the exact same idea. Just a couple of back buildings which really don't serve that big of a purpose. Or like a little area like this, which again, you could use for cover, but it doesn't really serve that big of a purpose. Now, let's head over here to the shrine area. Once again, Shangri-La, am I right? You got the jungle, kind of a temple kind of a theme here. It looks pretty cool, in my own personal opinion. And if we actually come up here, you have these doors, but of course, since it's a multiplayer map, you can't actually do anything with it. This was just an area that people would use to kind of camp on. I believe there may have been a headquarters up here, back when headquarters was the game mode, where you could, like, you know, try and take people out from that cave. That's the same cave that has the head poke that looks towards the bridge. There it is. And then down here is going to be the big cave, which is definitely one of the big focal points of the map, which, once again, law ladders. So this map has two big areas, I suppose, that people always kind of flock to. You have the bridge, which is, of course, up there, and here I am down here in the riverbed. And then, of course, there's going to be this cave that's over here. It's a giant cave. There are, in total, I suppose, 3 entrances. You can come in from this area. You cannot jump in from the water. I guess there's 4 total entrances. You can come out of the water, come up this little tiny path, come in here from this way. Then you have the big entrance for the other side, and then over here is going to be the side entrance for the other side as well, which, once again, kind of similar to the other side. You have a little bit of a head poke. You can try and take people out from that window, or you can try to take people out on the bridge, but this side is just completely inferior, in my opinion, to the other side, because it's like you can't really see nearly as much when you're trying to go through there. So just something to bear in mind. It does appear, in my opinion, that this side is a little bit better, but that could all change, of course, when you're doing a reimagination of a map. So here's the cave. It's pretty big. There's not a lot of cover. You have this little thing right here, this little rock, but aside from that, there was not actually like a lot of cover here. There were a couple of holes like in the roof, I guess. In memory, there were more holes in the roof. I guess this is the only one. I guess you can throw grenades through there, which I did all the time. So keep that in mind. I wonder if they're going to be changing up the cave whatsoever when they actually make Verge. And you can run out here, and then this will take you to the other end of the map where we initially started, basically. You come over here, right... Oh, we're climbing on top of a well here. Right there is where we started. Here is the building that they kind of pan to in their cinematic. This is it. They're going to be changing it, of course. There's not going to be as many holes in the roof. And then there's this building right up here, which didn't really serve a giant purpose because it doesn't do anything. It doesn't give you any advantage over the bridge. Once again, the focal point of Banzai was the bridge and the cave over here, right? These were the big focal points. So, like, a building like this, it was really just kind of like a thing that you use to get from point A to point B. It wasn't really an area that people really went to too much because nothing was really there. And just kind of like the shrine on the other end of the cave here, you do have this area right here, which is like this nice little building, which, once again, doesn't serve a big purpose, but it's kind of like the idea of symmetry of the map. The other side's got the shrine, which gives you a little bit of an elevated position for people coming out of the cave, and this side has that as well. It's just a good map design, in my opinion, on the part of Treyarch. This was actually a DLC map that came in Call of Duty World at War, which says to me, I don't think a lot of people actually play it, because one, the amount of people that's actually played like World at War back in the day, pretty small, right? And there's also going to be a side path over here I want to show you guys. But the number of players that actually played World at War back in the day that still play Call of Duty to this day, pretty small, man. That was like... What was it? The game came out in 2008. Its lifespan was in 2009. I mean, just do the math there. That was a very long time ago. And the number of people that actually bought the DLC for World at War and played the DLC extensively enough to actually know about the maps and stuff, I mean, that number gets even smaller, right? So, not a lot of people actually know much about this map. I, of course, being a huge Call of Duty nerd, I know everything about this map. I have played it a ton, inside and out. I know this map. There's lots of cool things you can do, lots of cool routes you can take, and just lots of fun engagements you can have on this map. But it's definitely pretty interesting to me that they're bringing back this map of all maps because, you know, fans didn't really have a chance to play it, or at least the vast majority of people that are going to be playing the map Verge in Black Ops 3 with the DLC that we're going to get that's going to be called Eclipse. I mean, people didn't play it, right? These people don't know what this map is going to be all about. People won't know how to play on the map. It's gonna be different. Usually when they bring back, you know, remakes, they bring back like fan favorites and stuff like that, you know. But I don't think this was a fan favorite because I really feel as though there's like 1% of the Call of Duty player base that actually played this map back in the day, or at least played it enough to actually know anything about it. So pretty interesting in my own personal opinion. But I've showed you guys just about everything that there is to see here on this map. Now, what I want to do is I've been waiting like all day for them to actually give us a DLC reveal trailer, right? I'm waiting for the Eclipse DLC trailer so I can kind of like look at it. And can I go down this ladder? Oh, look at me. Tricky. Esports, boys. Esports. You gotta do that. You gotta go down the ladder so you don't make the sound of you landing on the ground. Yeah? I used to play a lot of Search and Destroy. I know that kind of stuff. But, but I'm waiting for the Eclipse DLC trailer to come out. And when it does, of course, I'll do a breakdown of the trailer, show you guys that and whatnot. But I also eventually want to do kind of like a cinematics, kind of a comparison, I suppose. I guess I can definitely do that when the DLC itself actually fully releases on the PlayStation 4. I want to show you guys like what this map looks like, what Banzai looks like versus Verge, and see exactly how faithful that remake actually is. You know, they do have a lot of symmetry. Like you have this little spot right here where you can kind of like head poke the people on the other side of the map, and they have the same kind of thing for them as well. But I want to see, because I feel as though just from going back once again, I'm gonna go back here to the opposite end of the map, And we are going to stand right about here. I know it's not the perfect angle, but it's close enough. Just looking at this here, it looks as though they're going to change around a lot of things about this map. They're really going to add a lot more verticality than what the map originally had. So I have to wonder exactly how faithful this remake is going to actually be. You know, I have to wonder that. So I'm definitely interested to see what they're going to be doing with Verge, as well as the rest of the Black Ops 3 Eclipse DLC maps. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys will enjoy this video. I hope you guys found it helpful and informative and entertaining, just walking down memory lane here in Call of Duty World at War with me. If you did enjoy the video, please drop me a rating. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day.